plan to turn an old landfill into a biking and hiking destination. I'm joined now by the people working to make it happen. Doug Allred, owner of First Place Sports and longtime advocate of the project. Good morning. Oh, excuse me.
Well, Doug
Tillett.
Doug Allred is the main Doug in JTC Running. I'm
Gotcha.
kind of the alternate subordinate Doug, but I am the president this year of JTC Running.
Nice to have you.
And Doug wasn't able to make it, but it was his vision that got JTC Running involved in the SORBA project that Todd here is involved with, creating a trail around what used to be a landfill.
And Todd Adacott, president of the Southern Off-Road Bicycle Association, or SORBA Jax. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to start with you, if I can. Doug, tell me about the history of this project. I know that it dates back more than a decade. How did the idea originally emerge?
Doug Allred, who we mentioned at first, he's Mr. Running in Jacksonville, and he liked to not just run on the streets, but cut through paths and trails and along rivers. So back when the park was, they were building a golf course there, and he found out that he could go from his house and run to his store because he has a running store, and he loved it. He said, "Man, we need to get this made so that people can enjoy this unusual place to go and run, because it's a 65-foot tall mountain in Mandarin." And he had that vision to get it started. And then we thought about trying to buy the property because it was between owners at the time. They built a golf course there, in fact, but the golf course never made it into business. So then, was it Todd? Did you sort of get started?
Well, let's talk a little bit about. I mean, to be clear, it's a landfill site, right? It was closed in 1986, I think, because growth in the Mandarin area was kind of encroaching on it in a way that people didn't feel comfortable with.
This was a construction landfill, so it was only construction debris. It was closed in '86. The flame burned until about 2003.
What's the flame?
So the methane that's created from a landfill, there's always a flame that has to burn to allow the methane to clear. Once that clears, then they can make it open to the public or be used for public use. This just sat as empty property for years. And then I happened to get introduced to the owners of this property through the builders who were building in the community behind there. They said they wanted to build some trails, and that's what SORBA Jax does. We build trails, maintain trails in all of Jacksonville.
And so after the landfill closed, the methane burned off. It was initially envisioned as an 18-hole golf course. Then it was going to be a 9-hole golf course. But there was, I think the developer maybe declared bankruptcy, and then there was a bad tropical storm that caused a lot of damage and erosion in the late 2000s.
Yeah, 2008 caused the golf course never opened because of the downturn in the economy in 2008. And so then it just sat vacant for years, and it went into bankruptcy. And the current owners ended up buying the property. I got to meet them about a little over 2 years ago, and it was just communicating with them and what our plan and our vision could be, talking to Doug Allred and what his vision was for running. We build mountain bike trails. They love running. So we decided to see if we could partner up and get them to help us financially with some of the stuff we're doing. We're a nonprofit. We're always trying to raise money for trails in Jacksonville. Doug introduced me to the whole JTC team, and we started working on it.
Had you guys ever worked together previously, biking and running?
No, we hadn't.
I have a bicycle, though. I'd like to tell you something about JTC Running that some people don't know. We are the club that in 1975 created it's called River Run 15,000. Now it's called the Gate River Run. And we have between 15 and 20,000 people finish the Gate River Run when it's run. And by the way, this year it's going to be on March the 2nd, 2024.
Start training.
Yeah, that's right. We'll have a training class if you want to join it. And we have between 15 and 20,000 participants. It's the largest participatory event in the city, that many people out running and training. And so it's our race, and it does generate a good amount of, it makes money, and so.
And money is needed. Todd, I was surprised to see just how much money has been raised and how much, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but I mean, you guys have already raised $400,000. There's been initial donations, I think, from Trek Bikes with another $155,000. What does a project like this cost?
We're looking at this project because it is all volunteer built, volunteer builders, volunteer design. Our whole organization is volunteers and a nonprofit. We expect this project to be about $500,000 when it's complete. We are still looking for funding. We are still trying to raise money. And again, it all just comes from the community. We've had a lot of businesses that have supported it: JTC, the Trek Foundation, First Place Sports, Fox Suspension. A lot of different companies have supported it. And we are continuing to try and just raise money to keep going, and it'll be an ongoing project.
And how can people get involved? What is the timeline for completion? I mean, there are still some rides going on, right?
So the park is currently open Saturday and Sundays from approximately 8 o'clock until 6 p.m. It's sunrise to sunset, but we have to manually open the gate. Volunteers do that. But if they want to come out and ride, we have about 3 miles of trail out there that they can participate on. We expect to have a full 3.1 mile running loop and approximately 10 miles of mountain bike trail when we're finished.
Just briefly, Doug, you've got a comment?
JTC Running donated $85,000 just recently to the SORBA project so that they could buy equipment that will facilitate creating and maintaining both the bike trails and the running trails. And it's the largest expenditure JTC Running has ever had, $85,000, and Todd bought important equipment to do it.
Doug Tillett with JTC Running, Todd Adacott with SORBA Jax. Please keep us posted on the progress. We're excited about this project.